What are your thoughts on fasting? I don't think everyone is necessarily going to be a great candidate to fast. If you're a woman, you're having a menstrual cycle, I would say no. Is that when you abstain from food for a long period of time, you're going to have a lot of cortisol coursing through your veins because the body is constantly trying to mobilize sugar. Usually, after the first day was fine. After day two, I always had a little bit of problem sleeping. That was because I had very high levels of cortisol just because try to mobilize my blood sugars as much as possible. So men, I would actually say generally, yes. Do not fast if you have chronically low cortisol. You actually want to see, well, what's causing poor adrenal function? And usually there's some kind of massive inflammatory trigger that they're just not aware of, i.e., like mold or something like that. I had a woman who came to me, had terrible adrenal function. I mean, we actually on a Dutch test, we saw her adrenal glands and they were just like basically flatline. So the adrenal glands just weren't kicking out much cortisol. She said, should I do a 5-day fast? And I looked at her cortisol levels. I'm like, absolutely not. You're going to have a really bad day if you decide to do that. And I tried to talk her out of it. And she said, I'm going to do it anyway. I said, okay, let me know how that goes. And so she did a 5-day fast and then she finished up. I said, how'd you feel? She's like, well, after day two, I couldn't get out of bed. And so she just didn't have the cortisol to try to get her blood sugars up. So she was just going flatlining as far as her blood sugars were extremely low all the time. And in fact, this is why, some people, when they're dealing with a pretty bad inflammatory trigger, you'll notice that their cortisol levels will go down quite a bit. And that's by design. It's not the body messing up. But this is why, fasting for them can be very, very difficult, if not impossible. And I don't recommend it for every single person.